Alright, so let's have a look on how to get to the workshop ideas. We worked the ideas, we came up with 9 ideas, or you guys came up with 9 ideas, and we split them up into groups. You probably received an email about that already from the project. But what we're going to do now is have a look how we're going to get to that. So we do not want everybody, as in the general public, to go to those pages and make changes to them. So what we've done is you come to the front page, you see all the customer surveys and things like that. That's sticking up nicely, that's good. So we go to the think tank, you can see it's in progress. So we click on explore now. As you then scroll down, we sort of explain the process. So we got the idea refinement, uniqueness research, stakeholder impact, feasibility check, audience targeting, marketing approach, venue selection, fund strategy, risk management, and the POP, which is the project on a page. We put a hypothetical example in there. So for example, for our idea refinement is that enhance your idea to be clear and focused. Think about that, what makes it special and impactful. So for example, the idea is an artistic fusion festival. The idea of refinement would be from integrates live painting, music, dance to celebrate cultural diversity and encourage community involvement. As you can see now, there's a clear statement on what that idea is. It provides the boundaries of that idea. It provides the inclusions of the idea. Once we have that, we're going to say how unique is this idea. So we investigate if similar events exist, so we can piggyback on it or learn from it. Emphasize aspects that set your project apart. So in this case, research local events to ensure the festival's unique blend of arts and technology, and that make it stand out. We do the same thing for the stakeholder impact, marketing approach, and all these things. So we added some examples just to get your think process going. Basically, that's what it comes down to. Now, when we scroll further down, you can see a screenshot of the form we're going to use. Right, this is only part of it, so I'll take you through that in a minute. But if you click on this now, you will see, I hope you will see, no, you see nothing. So basically what we're going to put here is from, oh sorry mate, you're not logged in, so no access to this page, right? So I'm going to go back now and log in. So give me 1 second. Okay, I entered my login details, so I went to about login and it comes up with this screen, right? You guys remember that? So I click login and that will bring me to the project. So the umbrella project, etc, etc, etc. Now we can disregard it for the time being. So I go back to home and scroll down and I go to the think tank, the creation of project on a page, the idea to POP, list the idea and create a report on the idea to start a project or grant. We will give you a direct link to the form, but in case you get lost or you're on the road and you want to do something, then this is the way you can get to it. So explore now. If we scroll down, I click on, you remember this page here again. It's probably good to have a look for a refresher, and then click working the idea. Now you see we have the form here. So let me quickly run you through the form. So here's the idea selected. So these are the 9 ideas, and you can select the idea you've been asked to work on. Now we selected you to work on a particular idea because we think you are the best person to explore that idea at this point in time. Then the stakeholders, you probably recognize them from here. So if you're not sure about what the stakeholders are, just have a look at the profile. Then, so you can, these are just select boxes, so you can select as many stakeholders you think that should be part of this idea. The idea refinement, you got 500 characters to identify your idea. So be precise, make sure you include and exclude, so we set the boundaries. Okay. Then uniqueness of the idea. This helps to identify the uniqueness of the idea. Here explanations of each item. Again, read through it, and then based on that, you can select which item you think is most suitable for your idea. Again, you can select multiple items, right? But try to be as specific as possible. Community impact. You got 1,000 characters to explain the community impact of your idea. Right? So how will the event benefit the local community and foster arts within Moreton Bay? That is generally the question you have to answer, if that makes sense. Feasibility check. Again, we list a few, or pretty much all the boxes what we want you to select and what they mean. Again, it's not going from, oh look, you know, this and that. Now it's just that we all understand what they mean, so there's no ambiguity on it, if that makes sense. Try to use big words, should not do that. So the budget, here's for example, you can select different options. Okay, you can only select one option for each of these feasibility studies. Then audience targeting. Audience targeting again is we set up these categories and what they mean, and then you can sort of select from here what and how. So to effectively target your audience, your idea, consider the following strategies. Tick, 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 tick. Right, and then to whom they apply. Marketing approach. Here we list all the different types of how we can market the idea, and then select here which ideas or which, how do you call these things? Yeah, which marketing approach you wanna use or think is the best for your idea. The follow-up strategy, again, you get 1,000 characters on how to describe the approach for post-event engagement and how to capitalize on the event's momentum. So this basically means that how are we gonna, once the event is finished, how are we gonna keep that momentum, keep the vibe going as from, oh hey, that was a good event, we wanna have it again, yada yada yada. Alright. Venue validation. Again, we need to know where it's going to happen. What are the things we need to think about? For example, art galleries have a different requirement than others. So each type of venue has a unique benefit. So it's essential to choose the one that aligns the best with your idea. So you can have an art gallery, but if your idea is all about skydiving, then obviously an art gallery is probably not the best, right? So that's what we try to do here. Funding strategy, same thing. I'm going to rush through it a little bit because the video gets a bit long. Risk management and evaluation, all right? And then you click submit. Now, once you submit, that is done, right? So you can't make changes. So make sure you understand what you need to fill in. Either write it down on a piece of paper before you start filling in it. Maybe in the future we're gonna allow to fill in the form and then get back to it and then fill in a bit more, etc., etc. But that's a technology issue at the moment we have not fixed yet. Why do we want you to follow a form and not come and cut and paste free text or something you just written down? The answer is simple: consistency. If we have to make educated guesses on what you mean by what you've written down on a piece of paper, we will going to make mistakes, and we cannot validate each individual idea against the same values and the same testing. So what that means is that we might have, for example, digital boards, and we look at it and say, well, obviously that doesn't look like it's that important or it's undoable. But then we have arts engagement groups, which we say, oh yeah, that's very doable, based on what people written down. Now that's can be an invalid score. So if we use all the same information to be entered, then we also can score everything equally. So there's no discrimination amongst the ideas. There's no discriminations amongst the answers. I can understand that a lot of you guys just want to write things down on a piece of paper and then say, oh, look here, I worked the idea out. Now, spin that around for a minute. If we're going to get 9 pieces of paper, some will be one piece of paper, some might be an essay, some might be bigger than the book of Ben-Hur. How are we going to process that? Right? There's 2 of us here at the moment just doing all the data entry and trying to sort of come up with the right matrices. Now, if we're going to get 9 books or bigger than Ben-Hur, it's going to be impossible for us to meet our deadlines. So for that reason, we set up a form. This form by no means is the end of all forms, right? So we might have forgotten things. There might be things in there you said, well, it doesn't make any sense. There might be things in there you said should be removed or added or whatever. We can do that as long as there's a solid argument for it, and we will do that as long as there's a solid argument for it. So for that reason, we want you to participate in the discussions in your project group, right? So it's all open for change to a certain extent. So we're not going to completely change the form, because that will mean that people who already filled in the form have to redo the form or their information, and that slows us down. So we just want to keep the momentum going. So the 5 is there, we want to keep the 5 going. Now, I hope that this makes all sense. If not, I can understand that because I ramble a little bit, but I'm going to show you again on how to get to this page, and Danielle will send you an email as well on how to do it. You will all get an individual email, you might have that already, as to what idea is allocated to you to quickly go and run through and complete a form. It should not take, the completion of the form should not take that long, but the research might take quite a bit longer. But again, don't go down the rabbit hole. Keep it, keep it simple. So then once we have all the ideas and we create a project on a page, then we'll report back to you guys and say, look, here are all the 9 ideas. This is the information entered. So now we can have a look at what ideas are we gonna actually push forward for a project for the next grant. I hope that all makes sense. So once again, how to get to it. Okay, you gotta be logged in, and once you're logged in, you go to the home screen, and on the home screen you go to Explore Now on this one, from ID to POP. We'll explain what we're trying to do. This is the example we use in these bits and bobs, and then click on working the idea, and then start filling in the form. I hope that makes sense, guys. If not, call Danielle. Bye.